What's up, crypto nerds? We're checking in on things that have been very slow, but a little bit of action due to some headlines today. And just recently, right now, we've got a little bit of a pop on news that ARKK is filing for an ETH ETF. And so we're bouncing off support. It's helping crypto stocks, which had relative strength today, follow through a bit. We could see MARA. Bull move on this news, new high of the day, daily higher low set. There's relative strength in these crypto stocks. Part of the reason they got a headline this morning where MSTR, it was ruled that MicroStrategy and crypto companies win fair value accounting. So we popped on that. But relative strength in these names, daily higher low. And you can see that relative strength because Bitcoin got all the way down to support, whereas MARA didn't even get within 10% of the recent low. So the question from here is, can the relative strength in these crypto stocks shape up a daily uptrend attempt? And it's the same for Coin, daily higher low set, and Riot, daily higher low set. So benefiting from some headlines, and now of course what's needed for these stocks to do well is for Bitcoin to break resistance. We've been trading sideways for 6 days. Bulls need to get over 26.2 thousand to be a successful defense of support. You can see 1, 2, 3, now today 4 holds, but we've got to start breaking resistances if that's going to mean anything. So crypto stocks positioned well, but we've got to see Bitcoin help out. The dollar is still really strong. New high today. The 4-month long-term higher low on the dollar is set. The only way that we see Bitcoin bulls follow through to 30, 40,000 plus, in my opinion, is if we see the dollar confirm a long-term downtrend. And so we're going to be watching that, but it's still the dollar straight up bounce at this point. And we had, news this morning was what was it? MFI, manufacturing index numbers, I think. Whatever it was fundamental news that led to a dollar big spike up. The metals dumped, Bitcoin dumped. And so as long as we have a strong inverse relationship with the dollar, these macroeconomic headlines are going to have an impact. And so, got to pay attention. So we'll see if the Bitcoin bulls can turn this into anything. We need to confirm trends. This is a nice move off the low. We need a 15-minute uptrend. We need an hourly uptrend. And what the crypto market has been doing recently is headhunting bulls, meaning I'll look at my list here and I'll rank it and I'll see who the lead bull on the day is. A couple days ago, it was XLM. Then the next day, XLM is at the bottom of the list as a lead bear. Then it's Sol at the top of the list for one day. Next day, Sol's at the bottom of the list. So we get these little one-day bull moves where a name will stand out, and then the bears just flock to that name and drive it back down. And so that is obviously what happens in a bearish environment. And so I would say it's essentially headhunting short-term strength to look for shorts is what we're seeing in the market right now. We're also seeing Bitcoin volume disappear. Things are boring. Google searches are at 5-year lows or whatever they're at. We've got the 20-week average volume has been downtrending since the start of the year. That is 9 months of downtrending volume. What we see happening right now is people are bored with crypto. They're not interested. We just had a 2-year bear market in cannabis stocks. Nobody cared about them. A headline comes out. We get a short squeeze. Names go 60 to 150% in a week. And now all of my analytics, YouTube videos, tweet engagement, everything that I look at for analytics is now showing a significant amount of interest in cannabis stocks. And it's just cycles. That's part of the cycles that we see. And right now, the crypto cycle is at the bottom of the barrel. Nobody cares. Nothing's going on. Nobody's talking about Bitcoin except for the diehards and us who are still sticking around. And it's important to stick around because I was ready for the cannabis bull move here over the last week because I've been watching it for 2 years do absolutely nothing. and I'm not putting a ton of time and effort into watching it, but I'm keeping my eye on it, knowing that things shift very quickly when they do shift. Sometimes it's a headline that does it, but it is always price action. Interest follows price action. CNBC coverage follows price action. CNBC is talking about cannabis every day because of price action and because their analytics are showing interest as well. And when's the last time they talked about Bitcoin? I don't know, but it's because it's not getting clicks. It's not getting attention. The price isn't moving. So we're in a boring part of the cycle. It may last a while. And I put out a tweet recently, maybe a couple days ago, and I posted, I wish everybody on Twitter wasn't so certain that an all-time high was coming in Bitcoin for the halving. And the reason I say that is because I'm never comfortable when everybody is looking in one direction and certain it's going to play out. At what point does halvings start getting priced in advance? Well, once everybody knows about them. And granted, Twitter is a bit of a bubble. My friends aren't talking about the Bitcoin halving, but more and more people every time we get a halving know about it, and it prices it in more and more. So one thing that I posted was, I would not be shocked if Bitcoin gave us, a 3-year tightening range from here. It's a possibility. I'm not saying it's most likely. What if we bounce a bit more? What if the halving takes us to 50K and we top out? Then what? Then we're in a pattern where we're going to tighten up till 2026. So just have a plan for if that happens, because it's possible that happens. Maybe it's not the most likely scenario, but I'm putting myself in a financial position where if this happens for 3 years, it's not going to impact me negatively in any way, shape, or form. And hopefully other people are doing that as well, preparing for every possible scenario. Because I am open to this scenario that this halving leads to a longer-term lower high compared to 69,000, and we tighten up. Back here, we tightened up after the 2017 pop for a couple of years. But now we have a whole bunch more range, a whole bunch more liquidity, a whole bunch more people in the market. And so why can't this tightening range be similar but take twice as long as that last one? I'm saying it can. So we'll see. Just be aware. It's possible. ETH, so popping on the ETF news. Again, will it stick? We've got to confirm some trends to ensure that it's not just a quick little move up. And bigger picture, we've got a base of support trying to hold, same as Bitcoin. And we did clear the highest level in 6 days, so that's a good sign. And ETH BTC is now in a daily uptrend. When's the last time that ETH BTC confirmed a daily uptrend with a higher low and a higher high? And the answer is we have not seen a clear daily uptrend in this chart since back here. It's been over 4 months. And so now what has to happen is we have to see a break of this quadruple top that we've been watching. And that's now coming into play. And look what it lines up with. Our quadruple top is now aligned with the weekly falling wedge resistance. So if we're going to break the quadruple top, then maybe this weekly falling wedge breaks bull, and our longer term 3-month higher low, anticipating a longer term tightening range on this pairing, maybe that starts to shape up as well. So let's keep an eye on ETH gaining a little bit of relative strength compared to Bitcoin, and whether or not that continues to be the case. Watch that quadruple top. So XLM, there were some rumors about, some potential news coming or whatever. That led to a bull break. And now we're trying for a daily higher low. Let's see if these bulls can regain a 4-hour uptrend. But I'm watching XLM because I look at this weekly chart and I know a weekly higher low is the most likely scenario. And we're battling to try and shape that up. And if we get over 13, it will be set. And then we're going to scout a weekly lower high. And we're going to scout an equilibrium, just like we did after the XRP news bump. We scouted the daily equilibrium and it was beautiful. We're going to do the same thing on the weekly. Patterns within patterns, fractals of time frames. And so keep an eye out for XLM to try and shape up a weekly higher low. And to do so, we've got to confirm the daily uptrend. Big bounce, create the space for the higher low, Can we follow through over 13 cents? XLM, BTC, doing the same thing. Weekly higher low already set. But there's a double top that bulls want to see break. So Sol, as I mentioned, again, a one-day bull move, and the bears jump all over it. Hourly stair step marks the top. Bears in full control from there. And bears are using overbought conditions to short. And in the chat room here, I see Andre saying, backburner indicator is killing it. Great stuff. And so I just saw a tweet from Andre on Twitter where he's talking about on Aiden. I don't even know that coin, but backburner, he's talking about the overbought indicator marks the short-term top. And then now it's following through significantly with a pullback of 5% plus. So bears are using short-term overbought signals to mark those lower highs. And again, same thing with Sol. Sol sees a spike to hourly overbought. Last one was 4-hour overbought, marked a top into a big pullback. Now we got hourly overbought, marking a top into a big pullback, 5% plus. And now we're watching $19 support trying to hold. There's a base down there. OP, another name, lead bull, turning into significant weakness once we topped out with that head and shoulders way back when. And just staying weak. Daily downtrend is our guide. So yes, it's boring. Bears get confident. And that's what shapes up short squeezes, is eventually bears get so confident that they get run over. And that's what's happening in the cannabis space now with the headlines where, you know, MSOS drops down for literally years, 90% drop or whatever. And then in 4 days, anybody that shorted this year is underwater, just like that. And that's because everybody was confident bearish and a quick turnaround. So we can stay bearish for a while. It's a battle at key daily support right now for Bitcoin. The Bitcoin bulls have not proven anything to us in a long time. I mean, even this one-day pump, that was nice. There's been multiple times where I've been scouting long entries in crypto, and then I just never take a position because we get red flags. The first red flag for Bitcoin was hourly oversold. Nope, it was 4-hour EMA 12 not holding. I was going to make a long for that higher low, and then once we fell through, no, I have no interest long anymore. So I'm patiently waiting, but I need the bulls to prove something to me. Aggressive bulls are playing off support, and they're buying the weakness and hoping it holds, but I don't have enough confidence to be looking for that here in the short term. All right. That's all I want to talk about in the short term. Again, prove it, bulls. Get over resistance of 26.2 thousand. Confirm some short-term uptrends. Otherwise, nothing changes. And the bears stay... Again, just put yourself in the bear mindset. Bears stay real comfortable as long as we still have that lower high. Or those lower highs in place. Not going to talk about cannabis, guys. I've been talking about cannabis literally all day. Morning live stream, talked about my sells, entered short while live streaming. If you want to talk about cannabis, we got a whole chat room channel devoted to it. Live streams devoted to it. This is the crypto stream. Does the low volume on these boring times indicate a long-term low? No. Long-term lows are often indicated by volume climaxes, not slow bleeds. So it's when you get that capitulation action where a bunch of stops trigger and a bunch of bulls by the dip and you get huge volume, big, long, lower wicks. So low volume just shows a lack of interest. And I expect volume to pick up a bit because, you know, low volume over the summer is common. June, July, August, it's common to have low volume in markets. But, you know, you look at Bitcoin, what if we break support here? Then we just have a 3-month tightening range. And again, this goes back to what I'm talking about. You know, it's possible that we trade within this range of 15,000 to 31,000 for, you know, another 5 months, potentially, if the bears prove a bit more follow through. So again, we just have to prepare Just remember how boring things have gotten in the past bear markets. For those of us that were around in 2018, 2019. I mean, look at this action right here. There was 1 month of action, but it's essentially 8 months of really nothing going on. Definitely keep an eye on XLM. It's one of the few altcoins that I watch right now. Just because I really like the clarity of the weekly setup. Do I ever trade alt to alt correlations versus BTC? I don't. I trade alt BTC correlations, but not alt to alt. But that's interesting. If it works, keep doing it. Dollar rising wedge still in play even with the breakdown? No. This is what I was watching way back when, but at this point, I'm not watching it. We got anything above 102.93 will be a daily high or low on consolidation. Again, we're breaking to the highest levels that we've seen in 6 months. And so I'm just sticking with, you know, the bears will not prove a thing on the dollar until we confirm a daily downtrend. That's the step. And that's what was missed here. All right, there's some weakness. Now we have to confirm the downtrend into further weekly consolidation, and we just failed to do so. Not sure, Berg. I haven't played around with ADA BTC divided by ETH BTC. That's too many correlations for me. As a lover of correlations, that seems a bit overwhelming. Yep, talked about ARK, I should say, filing for the ETF first thing. All right, so again, real quick summary. Bitcoin is all bears at the moment. And look at us just giving this back. Watch the retracement size. Bears are going to continue to pounce on any strength as long as they keep getting rewarded. You know how many times I said that about cannabis stocks in the last year? And so here's our retracement. If we get 50% plus, then we're just looking for an equilibrium at that point. Our crypto stocks spike up, give it back, 2-minute stair step pattern marking the top. Bear goes short at 11.51. They're up 1%. Sell half. Nothing to worry about. Risk-free. So if you have to punish the bears to shake them off. And so even that spike on Bitcoin on the grayscale news didn't punish bears. It punished late bears, anybody shorting back here, but anybody that had been short from the months prior didn't do anything. Again, you got to do something like cannabis where anybody who shorted in the last year is now underwater. That's a powerful statement as far as this tipping of the scales between supply and demand. I don't ever look at USDT dominance. Unify USDT. Definitely a nice daily uptrend. Keep an eye out for a volume climax. Look at that hourly volume potentially shaping up consolidation there. 4 hour. So we may be seeing some volume climaxes shaping up. Retracement size on this hourly pullback will be key. We've been holding hourly EMA 12 for a long time. If we lose hourly EMA 12, then the probability of these being some climax tops will increase significantly. But it is definitely a nice pop in a sea of red of crypto recently. Kind of insane seeing how much YouTube viewer numbers are dropping in crypto. I mean, it's happened before. It makes sense. It's Google Trends searches aligns with it. my cannabis video from over this weekend, I did an hour-long live stream, and it's getting it got 3 times the views, probably 350% the views that this stream is going to get. And if I did it 2 weeks ago, it would be, probably the same, nothing notable, no difference. Price changes everything. People flock to price. Price action, excitement, opportunity. Whether or not they're late, they flock to it. That's where the clicks come from. Thanks for the likes, Dustin. Outlook for Riot, and we have a new baseline of support as a must-hold line in the sand. Bulls must hold 1072. If we lose 1072, a weekly bear flag then becomes very likely. If we hold 1072, the bulls are going to work on trying to confirm a daily uptrend. We haven't had a daily uptrend since we topped out. So these names, these crypto stocks are positioned well if Bitcoin holds this base of support and starts to take out some short-term resistances. But that's a big if, because the Bitcoin bulls haven't shown us anything in a while. If I only had 10K US dollars in crypto right now, how would I size my positions? Really small. This is the least ideal. Again, this is the least I've traded crypto in 6 years. This is the least ideal trading environment in 2023, in my opinion, for my style of trading, considering I can't comfortably short on any legitimate exchanges. It's the least amount I've traded crypto in 6 years. So I would say, risk $20 on each trade and just use it as practice and repetition and watching the charts and getting your muscle memory going. This is not a time to be looking to make any kind of significant gains unless trading bearish is your bread and butter. And even then, with the volume as low as it is, it's still not very significant opportunity. Thanks, Berg. If you keep getting stopped out, but your thesis is right on trades, use more wiggle room and smaller position size. And you can still have the same dollar risk if you do that. That would be one adjustment to make. So let's say, I'm risking $500 on a trade and, I keep getting stopped out with 20-cent wiggle room below a support level. Move that wiggle room to 30 cents and risk, still risk $500, but take a position size that is a third smaller. You can adjust your position size to keep your risk dollar amount the same. That's in your control. LTCN, yeah, it's the it is the, what's the word, discount shrinking a bit. So significant discount still shrinking. They had earnings. I don't know what would be in their earnings, but that looks to have put in a temporary bottom. Yeah, I don't know. Discount shrinking. Prop firm account allows shorting crypto, but your prop firm account is not FDIC insured. And there's definitely horror stories of prop firms not paying people out or prop firms going under. So I can't risk any kind of significant capital in something like that. I mean, there's no assurance. If I've got my money on Fidelity, the U.S. government is telling me, no matter what happens to Fidelity, we're going to give you $250,000 coverage. And that doesn't exist in a ton of crypto exchanges or FTX accounts or prop firm accounts. And so, it's a low probability, but we've seen it with FTX. We've seen it, with with so many things, Quadriga. I mean, it's just you're maybe it's a 0.1% chance, but you're risking 100% loss by doing that. And so I know for me, at this point in my career of trading, the risk reward is just not there. Chainlink standing out today. Let's see. Let's do a little experiment. So tomorrow, is Link going to be at the bottom of this list? If bears go headhunting for the lead bull every day. So Link broke resistance of 632. Not by much. 644 is the next resistance level. So a little bit of relative strength. The weekly bounce is trying to get going. What we need to see here is, we can view this as an equilibrium. Condense it down to the 2-week time frame. And Link right now is a high, low, lower high, and trying to form a higher low. If we get it, we're going to look for another lower high. And we can potentially tighten up within this equilibrium for another 6 weeks plus. So again, there's plenty of setups. That Bitcoin 3-month chart, there's plenty of setups that say, yeah, it's boring, yeah, it's low volume. It might stay that way for another number of months. And so we just have to prepare for that. And that's why I'm constantly getting crypto traders into stocks, getting stock traders into crypto, expand your horizons, have multiple markets that you're comfortable with, so you have opportunity to jump around to other things when things get boring. And we got a video on YouTube. Chart Guys, Crypto to Stocks. So this is for all crypto traders that are interested in trading stocks, because cannabis stocks have given great opportunity in the last week in both directions. Volume, volatility, everything that we as traders look for. I normally don't play into golden zones in terms of making that my entry. This would, I just use the price trend. So I would see MARA, okay, bounce here, shaping up an hourly uptrend, knowing that an hourly uptrend back to the bulls shapes up the daily higher low. And, where that occurs factors in probabilities of what's the next most likely scenario for me, which is a daily lower high. But I don't look at the 618 retracement and say, okay, we're hitting the 618 retracement, I'm going long here. It's the price trends still that have to shape up an entry for me. Definitely Pergar. Hard names. All right. I got to mow my lawn. The leaves are falling. I appreciate you tuning in. It'll be back at some point, whether it's in 2 months or 8 months. There will be opportunity again, but we cannot be over trading in this environment. We can be learning. We can be focusing on education. This is the time to focus on education. You're not missing anything. So put in the hours of studying and learning and practicing so that when the next opportunity of volume and volatility shows up, you're ready to pounce on it and not scrambling to try and learn then. These lulls can be a blessing if you are trying to work on your game. I'll talk about cannabis in the end of the day market video as always. Well, I guess not as always, but as always recently in the last few days. Again, over the weekend, did an hour-long cannabis stream, did a video on gaps in the stock market, just did a interview with Chat with Traders YouTube channel. That's going to be out sometime in the next couple of days. Love you all. Do good things. Thanks for the likes and shares and comments.